just prioritizing that presence. And I think it does get a little haphazard because as moms, because we're around our kids all day, it feels like, but I'm in their presence. Like we've been together all day. I just don't think we have that love for what that actually means with our kids, because we just assume if we're all in the same room that that's presence. But sometimes it's just being a little bit more intentional with asking questions, being interested, putting my phone down, pausing the TV, not washing dishes while I'm doing the same thing. I'm the queen of trying to like multitask with the kids.
Yeah.
And I just think it means so much to them. I forget. That's one of the things I think I forget the most as a mom is how much it means to them when I stop something to spend time with them.
Hey moms, welcome back to the Gather Moms podcast. Hey, it is summer.
Is it?
It's fully summer.
Oh, here we are.
And we have mixed feelings about summer, and I wonder if you do too, but we wanted to talk about all things summer. But to kick us off, Rebecca, we're going to do one of my favorite things in the world and play a trivia game.
You love to ask me questions that I've never heard before. See what I say. I'm ready.
When I tell you that sitting in front of me right now is a list of probably 50 questions. So I'm going to try and trim it down.
I was like, are we doing all 50?
No,
Guys, get ready for a 2-hour episode.
Let's see if I can get the best. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
What does SPF stand for?
Solar powered energy.
Ma'am!
Solar powered fun.
Sun protection factor.
Oh, my bad.
That's pretty good, right?
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay. Hey, speaking of which, do you know about checking the UV index?
Like before you go outside?
Yeah.
People do that?
All right. So here's the thing, because we talked about sunscreen not that long ago. And you were like, I'm all in on sunscreen,
Yes,
blah, blah, blah.
yes.
Okay. So,
Not all in on the UV.
but listen, if you'll check what the UV index is on like your weather app, then you'll know like how much you need to be worried about having sunscreen on or not.
So is there like a day where the sun's out and it's not bad UV?
Well, some days it's worse than others.
Oh.
So like, especially like in the summer.
Okay.
So if it's worse, then you want to make sure you have a hat, you go all the way.
Long sleeves, turtlenecks.
Yeah, but some days it's like, it's a 2, it's a 3. And you're like, okay.
So what's a good and what's a bad?
Any lower number, I can't remember what the high number is.
That was such a general answer. You said any lower number.
Well, it's like
what?
2, 3, 4. I really think that's good. I think when it's like gets up in the higher, I'll Google it when you start talking.
What do you mean by higher? 27, 14.
I think it's,
Y'all, she tried to come out here with facts, but she did not have them all. So now we all have questions.
Okay. So it looks like, it goes up to 11. So 1 to 2, I was right. I was generally right. Okay, 1 to 2, it ain't gonna get you.
You can just have the best time that day.
3 to 5, you will survive. 6 to 7, the sun will take you to heaven. I'm making this up as I go. I need you to know.
I thought maybe it was written on that screen you have there, and I was like, no way.
8 to 10, you getting burned again.
Okay. Listen, if it's 8 to 10, I call that a pajama and movie day.
Yes, ma'am.
We are all living our best life inside.
Yes. Okay, so anyway, that's just my pro tip for the day.
Excellent.
All Gen Z, they are very into the UV index.
Okay.
Just so you know. So if you want to be cool, no, we don't really care about that.
Get this. At dinner the other night, I said, are you dropping the tea?
No, ma'am,
And Greg looked at me, and I thought he was going to praise me for being current. And he said, I think you said it wrong. I was like, what do you mean? He said, it's spill the tea.
Yeah.
Not drop the tea. Okay, I'm halfway there. Halfway. It's all good.
I asked my kids the other day if they knew what skibbity riz was.
Yeah, I saw that on TikTok.
And they just completely shut down on me. Like it was a complete power down. They were so embarrassed that I had tried to use that word.
So Jed told me I had it wrong anyway. And I said, no, this guy on TikTok that's a middle school teacher.
Yeah.
And he was like, Mom, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That is not what that means. So Jed said the guy was wrong.
Well, I know my kids just said kids don't really use it. And it's very cringy, so I'm not allowed to say it
Don't
anymore.
you ever wonder how old those videos are we're watching? Like, what if those videos are from 2016?
I don't know, but I need you to know that you just told me that you're watching TikToks.
Well, because they show up on my reels on Insta. Aren't those TikToks that I'm watching? Essentially?
Yeah, but they're reels. So,
right, but I don't watch it on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, and usually, ma'am, there's a time lapse between when it hits TikTok and when it hits Reels, but it's fine.
Oh, so it really could be 2016.
It's not that far out.
It's really old.
There's a running joke of like what I laughed at on TikTok a month ago, you're laughing at today on Reels.
Is it when you get to Facebook, it's like decades old?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
That's funny.
But listen, I'm just biding my time out here on TikTok. I know it's about to go away, so that's fine.
Government intervention.
Yeah. It's probably about time.
We'll see.
China's already got me. Okay. So that was question number 1. Question number 2.
Rabbit trail.
Question number 2. Which U.S. state has the average hottest temperature?
Arizona.
Florida. Ooh,
What?
Arizona's a good guess. Florida.
Isn't Arizona like 120?
Yeah, bro. I don't, ma'am,
So
I'm
what
telling
is
you what
Florida?
the internet said. Yeah, can you imagine? Like, we think it's bad in Texas.
Although I have been to Disney on a hot day, so yes, I would agree.
On what one of 2 dates? Okay, just no. When does the summer solstice start? Like, what's the first day of summer?
Oh, Pete Delkus, you tell me this every year. Why do I not remember? June 17th.
That's really close. June 20th.
Oh, I was so close. Good job, Pete.
In what country did fireworks originate?
Israel.
Why did you guess that?
Because I feel like God had fireworks back in the Bible. So
Okay, these are man-made fireworks, not God fireworks.
India.
God can do what he wants. China.
I don't think it's China.
In what year, we're going to stay on the fireworks topic. In what year did the 4th of July become a holiday in the United States? Just pick a date.
1776.
100 years later, 1870.
I'm so close on these.
What percentage of watermelons are water?
82.
92%. In what U.S. state was the beach ball invented?
California.
Yes! Yay, you got one!
So I was thinking of the Beach Boys.
Yes. In what year did Disney World open?
I have watched so many history videos of Disney with my husband, the Greg Bradford, and I just 1906.
Bam.
Just picking numbers.
Way later. Wasn't Disneyland first? Didn't Disneyland open first and then Disney World came later?
I think so.
Okay, Disney World was not until 1971.
Oh, that feels like just yesterday.
What is the most popular week of travel in the United States?
Well, according to the news, it was this past weekend, or not. Well, whenever we're recording this, I don't know when this is coming out.
No, it's not till July. It's
Memorial
the second,
Day.
It's the second week of July.
No, that's when I'm traveling. I don't want to go with everybody else. I was trying to go when nobody else went.
I could have told you was about to be wrong on that.
No, because people travel on July 4th, so I go the week after July 4th when people are done traveling.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You're
That is
going with
so
the rest of the
rude.
world.
So rude.
Okay, let me see if I can pick 2 more. Okay, here's one you're going to get right. The song Summer Nights is from which 1978 movie? Okay, I want to sing a bar, but it's going to be
Grease?
so bad. Yes!
Sing
Oh,
it. You love to sing.
summer night. All right. Are you ready for this? Where do the World Margarita Championships take place every August?
Margaritaville,
Where is that?
Alabama.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Tucson, Arizona.
I said Arizona the first one.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, see if you can. This is the last question. What are the United States' 3 hottest states? We already said.
Florida.
Okay.
I think Arizona is one of them.
No.
What?
Okay. Hawaii? This says Hawaii.
No, every time we go to Hawaii, it feels great.
I don't know, bro. This says Hawaii and Louisiana.
Okay, so my question is, does that mean the hottest day or the most number of hot days? What is the
Right, what are we
What are we
using?
doing? What's our measurement?
Okay.
Because I feel like Texas has got to be in there too.
Okay, so what I thought of when I thought of this is like, oh my gosh, Texas isn't even in the top 3 and we are roasting.
We're roasting.
In August. So these other places miss me with that.
I know.
You're not going to find me in Florida in the summer. You about to go?
No, I'm not going to Florida.
Aren't you going to the beach?
Yeah, but we ain't going to Florida.
Oh.
I don't think it's Florida. Maybe it's Florida. Dang it. It might be Florida. I don't know where this beach is located.
Rebecca is is the ultimate
just know the
passenger
name.
princess. She just gets in the car.
I do. Panama City Beach,
I
Florida.
thought you were going to Rosemary Beach.
We are. We're going there first, but then we're going to Panama City. Is that all in Florida?
Yeah. You're going to the hottest state in the busiest time of the year. Saddle up.
I didn't even know. What? I was just getting in the car to go.
And you'll be happy about it.
I'll be happy about it.
And you don't need to know. And it's going to be great.
You've just squashed my bubble, though.
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
I was like living in La La Land, and now I'm going to think about it until July. It's the busiest week, the hottest state.
Okay, but listen, maybe let's do a little mind trickery because maybe it'll set your brain up to think this is going to be
Terrible.
Yeah. So when it's not, you're going to be like, girl, Kate didn't know what she was talking about.
Listen, y'all better tune in next August on the podcast so I can tell you if it was great or not.
Okay. That'll be fun. We'll wait. We will wait. We just won't breathe until we hear your answer.
Because I don't know if our listeners know, we sometimes take a break in the summer.
Well, which we're getting ready to do. I know. You're going to be sad. But let me tell you, listen, ladies, we have had 150 episodes.
Yes, we have.
So you have 150 episodes you can listen to again.
You can go back to number 1 and you won't even remember it.
Yes, when you miss us. Don't go back to number 1. We were talking about the pandemic. Unless you want to like relive that trauma.
Might be fun. That might be fun. It really might. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about summer. What makes summer hard? Like some of the things that came up in the trivia, I think, is what
The heat.
the heat. Yeah.
I have such high hopes. And then the first hot day when I start sweating before I even get to my car, I just get angry.
Angry. Don't you just feel angry?
Yeah.
And I feel like people get angry, like people in parking lots, people, you know, that are outside. They're just, everybody's irritated because it's
so hot.
So hot.
Yes.
Okay, what else is hard about summer?
I have, again, really high hopes for like this wonderful schedule. Yeah. I mean, we might make it a week, but
Yeah, and then
it's gone.
She out the window.
It's gone.
For me, just having, I am a bit introverted. And so having the kids home, that's why I don't know that I could homeschool unless like they were in a separate building than me.
Meaning you have 2 houses? Kate has 2 houses.
Or like I have an escape
one
room.
homeschool house.
Yeah, I just can't. It takes so much of my battery, my relational battery, to be with people all the time.
Even your own children?
Even my own children. And my blessed littlest one has an insatiable appetite for me. Like she could be with me 24/7 and not be satisfied.
Yes, mine too.
She just loves to be with me. She wants to touch me, sit with me, play with me, talk to me. And I just have to look at her and be like, I love you so much. Could you go play in your room for a minute? You know, because it's just, I just get at the top. We call it a taco meter.
That's
I
right.
have my taco
Yes.
meter.
Yes.
And so I'll have to look at her and say, sweet baby, my taco meter, we have surpassed the top. And so I'm just going to need a break. And she's like, okay.
But that's so sweet.
I know. It's really wonderful.
It is.
And I love that she loves me, but it can be a lot.
It can be a lot. I just think it's a change in our normalcy. I guess unless you're a homeschool mom and then you're like, well, this feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But even for them, there's not like the routine of, I don't know, the schoolwork and stuff.
That's why they probably love it.
Yeah.
Because they are getting a break.
Yeah.
They're not parenting and teaching. They're just parenting.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus us that have had a break from both parenting and teaching.
Yeah. Well,
Now have to take on both.
and for me, the past 2 summers, so I started working a more full-time job and I work 3 days out of the home. And so trying to figure out how to get everybody to all their little camps and their little play dates and everything can be like the summer calendar for me. I started working on that thing weeks ago to get everybody signed up for camps and start putting everything on the calendar.
Y'all got to hear the difference here.
What?
Because I looked at it and I was like, that seems like a lot of work. So
But then how do you coordinate everything?
these camps, we just show up on day 1.
Do you?
Yeah, I just wait till the night before. Everybody feeling it? All right, let's go tomorrow.
What a way to live.
I'm the non-registered lady with a check. That's me. That's me in line.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. And see, the one time I did that last year, I didn't sign Caroline up for one of the cheer camps early. I just waited to make sure she wanted to go. And when I got there, they were like, okay, well, you can register her, but there aren't any more t-shirts. I'm like, rude. And it was the same cost.
Oh, yeah. They don't discount you.
Friend,
No.
I don't get a shirt.
No.
Okay.
You know that shirt cost him like $250 anyway.
Okay.
It's going to shrink when you wash it.
That's fine. But little miss wants the shirt. Everybody else got the shirt, you know? So I think it's hard that it's hot. The schedules are off. We're trying to figure out how to keep these people from turning their brains to cheese by watching too many screens.
I just don't believe that actually happens. I really believe that if they want to watch some screens in the summer, that even if there is a slight amount of cheese on it by the end, that once they go back to routine, it just all falls off.
Well, okay,
It's
I
fine.
think that's true, except that, I mean, don't your kids become kind of monsters if they're on screens too much?
So this is where I think there's a difference between age groups and seasons. Because I do think smaller kids struggle with being that much into screens. But I don't know, now that we're in this older teenage phase, I don't know, it feels like that's their world anyway.
Okay.
So they don't tend to like Jekyll and Hyde me.
Yeah, not as much. Not as much. But like when they go into screen head mode, like they're done. For a long time, it's hard to get them to do anything because their brains have entered into screen mode.
Yes, yes.
And so I'll ask them like, okay, hey, it's time to come do your laundry or whatever. Like, you know, that's the response I get.
Yeah.
Because they've switched over to that brain.
Well, so that leads us into what we're going to share today. Honestly, if you've been with us for a while, every summer we have some like great ideas.
Yeah.
We're out of great ideas. We have tried all the summer hacks, all the summer schedules, all the summer things. Really, it's just whatever works best for you.
Yes.
Like you cannot pattern your summer schedule off of anybody else's.
No, because that's the thing. Like, you know, you talk about just like going with the flow, and that makes me feel so anxious, you know? And so we're just so different in that way.
Yes.
I have to have some structure or it feels like absolute chaos and it makes me feel bad. For you to have too much structure, that's like,
Makes me feel bad.
yes. And so we've had to figure out what works for us and for our
Yes.
kids. When I tell you, Rebecca, my girls just said to me, Mom, we need those lists that you give us every year. And they have asked me for them multiple times because I haven't printed them out yet.
Because they're ready.
They like it. They like the structure of checking the 5 things off they have to do
I
every
think that's
day.
amazing.
So, you know, I like that you said that it's what works for you.
Yes, yes. So the things we're going to talk about today are more just like big ideas. And then you take the big idea and you fit it into whatever routine is best for your family. And we go with that.
Great.
The first one that I'm going to suggest today is summer should be what it sounds like. Summer. Rest, relax, recharge, like step away from that world that feels like, okay, every day has a different task that has to be accomplished. And if it doesn't, we're missing out on something.
Yeah.
I do think there's an opportunity for you and your kids to feel like, okay, this is a chance to just kind of lean back in our chair for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that looks different for different people. Like for your family with the checkoff list, they're like, cool, once I check my 5 things off, man, I can just do whatever I want today.
Yeah.
For our family, the whole idea of like making them like check a list in the morning makes me crazy.
Yeah.
But for me to go, hey guys, there's one thing I need you to do today. Here it is. That seems more doable for our family because then they can do it however they want.
Yeah.
But neither is wrong or right. It's whatever works for your family and your kids' ages.
Yes.
I mean, we have tried so many different things through the years as they've changed seasons and ages. I think we're in a different phase now because I've got a graduate now. So I've got even a different phase of life. So it really depends on what's best for your kids and what works for them. But I really think the whole idea is that you're trying to provide a space and time to enjoy each other and to enjoy summer. And some of that means that you can actually step back from some rules that you were more like on top of during the school year.
Right. The strict bedtimes, the strict wake up times, you know, just letting that machine slow down of everybody to bed, everybody pack the lunches. Okay, now everybody up in the morning and we're rushing. There is a beautiful slowness about it. And I think we talked about all the things that make summer hard, but one of the reasons that we love summer is the opportunity for a slowdown. You know, you do get to go to the pool and play in the pool with the kids. You do get to sit by the beach. You do get to eat snow cones and ice cream and watermelon and go watch fireworks. And like, there's just all of this really lovely stuff. My kids, now that we aren't doing the, on the hamster wheel of getting ready for school every night, we've been playing board games in the evening because we're just here. Or this last weekend, we sat and watched an old movie together. By the way, if you have not watched The Old Parent Trap with your kids.
It's so good.
The original, is it Haley Mills?
Yes, yes.
I mean, the kids, okay, my 16-year-old boy was like, okay, this is a lot because it can be very cheesy, but we loved it. We just absolutely loved it.
Yes.
So I think there's a place for like some nostalgia, some movies, some just slow and enjoying each other.
Well, and if you have a week that gets away from you, they're having sleepovers or late bedtimes or we're not really on task, it's not like you feel like, oh my gosh, we've blown it. You kind of go, okay, wait a minute. Next week, we'll just try and get back on track a little bit. There's just some freedom to kind of ebb and flow with what's happening in the summer.
Yeah.
Because I do think there are some weeks that are naturally busier than others with camps or vacations or friends. And then there are some weeks where it feels like, oh, we really don't have anything to do this week.
Yeah.
We can just kind of do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So there's just an opportunity there for you to kind of relax some of those rules. And I honestly think for our kids, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun for them to feel like, not that you're a different mom, but that you've kind of like, you've let go a little bit,
Yes.
Yeah. Like sometimes my kids will be like, I don't want to take a shower tonight. And I'm like, okay. I mean, we're not going anywhere tomorrow. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
Or they're in their clothes and they don't want to put on PJs. And I'm like, fine, sleep in your clothes. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like there's just certain things that you go, you know what? That's not even worth having a battle over.
For sure.
Like live your best life.
For sure.
Go out and do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think you can take into the summer is just the idea that you really do want to embrace resting and relaxing and whatever that might mean for your family. Taking away some of the rules, letting go of some of the schedules, giving your kids some freedom to go, hey, this week you get to choose, just to make them feel like it does have a different feel to it because it is summer.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one is to prioritize presence. And this is just the idea that I think during the school year, I feel like I have a certain number of hours in the day to get tasks done. So when they stop and say, Mom, look at my Minecraft house, or Mom, do this, I'm like, oh, okay, but I have to finish this first and then I'll get to that. Well, I never get to that because then I'm too busy doing other things. So in summer, I just feel like, okay, wait a second. When they do ask, I mean, I really don't have to do these other things.
Yeah.
I need to embrace the stopping and then just being like, okay, show it all to me.
Yes.
Grit your teeth, act interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Abby did that the other night. And like halfway through, I was like, wait a second, this is really good. Did you do that? It's amazing what you find out about your kids when you're actually spending that intentional time.
Yeah.
And not just like my eyes glossing over and I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. But I was like, oh my gosh, that's really pretty. I would love a house like that. All those kind of things.
Yeah.
Just prioritizing that presence. And I think it does get a little haphazard because as moms, because we're around our kids all day, it feels like, but I'm in their presence. Like we've been together all day. I just don't think we have that love for what that actually means with our kids because we just assume if we're all in the same room that that's presence. But sometimes it's just being a little bit more intentional with asking questions, being interested, putting my phone down, pausing the TV, not washing dishes while I'm doing the same thing. I'm the queen of trying to like multitask with the kids.
Yeah.
And I just think it means so much to them. I forget. That's one of the things I think I forget the most as a mom is how much it means to them when I stop something to spend time with them. I mean, it's really sad to think that like for most of their life, like I'm constantly multitasking with them,
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is a beauty to going, okay, yeah. And like, I don't know. Have you ever seen your kids' eyes light up when they say, Mom, will you look at this, da-da-da-da? And normally you say, okay, in a minute, baby. And you go, oh, yeah, sure. I've got time. And their little eyes just start glowing.
Yes.
I think that's so sad.
Yes.
That for the most of the time, we're not spending that intentional time with them.
Yeah, because it's not practical. But yeah, whatever you can do, like Our new rhythm is we go play pickleball in the evenings. It's too hot during the day.
Yeah.
The pickleball courts have lights, and that's something the whole family can play together. Well, Caroline kind of runs around, but the whole family can play together. We go play pickleball or just whatever you can do as a family. But I think the most important thing that, you said is just trying to be off our phones when we're around them as much as we can. I know we've talked about this, but like when I look back on my parenting, I would much rather say, I gave my presents to my children and not to this like fleeting scroll that really didn't do anything for my life. So I love the idea of practicing presents.
I think you hit something there too that was really key where you said practical. I don't think summer is like a free for all, anything goes. And so there are some things as moms that we can help our kids understand. For me and our family, I sat down and said, okay, if each of you have one chore for the next month, which one would you pick? And could you be responsible for doing that one thing the whole time?
Okay.
Because I was just tired of nagging.
Yeah.
So they all picked one chore.
Okay.
Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, it's helpful because it's one less thing I have to do.
Yeah.
I also think food in the summer is really difficult because you're having to feed these people constantly.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's easier just to say, hey guys, no matter what happens, lunches or sandwiches. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I've got teenagers now that want to like cook things, which is great, but that's clean up and all the things.
Well, and you have a plan for all that food. And if they cook it all up, then
Right.
Yeah.
So just being able to say, okay, this way I don't have to answer a question every day. I just go, hey, just so you know, every day this week it's sandwiches. If you're hungry, that's what you get. If you're not, that's fine. You can wait till dinner.
Yeah.
And just kind of helping them see that some of those things can become non-talking issues where you just go, nope, we already talked about that. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And that would help them. Now, that may not work for younger kids. But I think sometimes when you just think ahead to the week and go, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's what would be practical for our family. And then just say it and then you're done.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about it again.
Yeah. Well, and for those with littles, we have lots of blog posts on, ideas for summer, but it can get hard with littles and snacks. I love it when, you have a little basket that each kid gets for a day and it's got their water bottle and their snacks in it, because that can be a really hard thing with summer, the amount of food that they go through, just mindlessly snacking.
Yes.
The other thing I think that I love about summer is it's an opportunity to learn something or like lean into a hobby or something that the kids are interested in. And I don't know if that my kids just kind of gravitate toward that, but each of them have kind of said to me, hey, I'd really like to learn this or work on this summer. And so I just think that's a neat thing to kind of go, okay, great.
Yeah, my kids haven't said that. What is that? What do they want to learn?
So, or read a book together or that there's an opportunity to like grow in a different way. That's kind of a more fun thing. That's not just for academics of like getting a grade.
The idea of growing when you don't have to. Wow. That is revolutionary.
If that's going to a museum or reading a book or, watching YouTubes to learn how to play an instrument or, whatever it is.
Listen, little achieving kids, way to go.
Well, we limit the screens a little bit around here. So
you do.
They know that
It's a pretty good free-for-all in the Bradford house.
They've got to but your kids take their own initiative too. And they figure stuff out.
Listen, moms, the number of times that I've had to go, we should probably put screen limits on there. Oh my gosh, I feel like we should probably do something about that. I just want you to know you're not alone, okay?
And
you're not alone.
The thing is, Rebecca and I, we parent pretty differently. I think for the most part, our common threads are,
yes,
we love Jesus, and we have Christ-centered homes, and we are generally both like pretty, I don't know if chill's the right word.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing is going to get us, I don't know. We're just not going to freak out too much about stuff.
Right.
And can kind of go with the flow. Now, your flow tends to go a lot more in some places than mine does. But for the most part, like that's kind of the thing is like the kids are going to be kids.
Yes.
We are going to live this life.
That's right.
And, it's not worth freaking out over most things.
No.
But just all that to say, no matter which path you choose to parent this summer, both are good and right. You need to do what God is calling you to do and be the mom that God has called you to be. So if you're not the swimming pool mom, don't go trying to be the swimming pool mom. You'll make yourself and everyone else miserable.
Yes, you will.
If you are not the blueberry farm picking mom,
Ooh, I love me some blueberry picking. Okay. I love it.
For me, it's a forced fun. It's a forced.
I've got multiple times.
I know. I see you there and you are living your best life. And I'm like, do we have to be here? And so, that's what I can let go of.
That's right.
Because I do have to grin and bear it. And by the time, like when I start to feel the sweat running down my back, that's when I'm like, okay, we've got enough blueberries.
And see, I feel like that checks something off the list for me. Like, yes, I've been outside long enough for the sweat to run down my back. I am winning.
But so Rebecca's the blueberry picking mom, and she's going to sit and watch movies with her kids and stuff. I'm the, let's get the learning books from Costco mom. And let's work on our advanced math skills. Let's learn a new instrument. Like, I love it. That's what I lean into because I'm a teacher at heart.
Yes, you are.
I'm a teacher by training. And so I just enjoy all that stuff.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So the point is, be the mom that God has created you to be and called you to be. You don't need to follow someone else's schedule. You can look around and say, okay, this will work for us, but don't try and fit a square peg in a round hole. You will make yourself and everybody else miserable. And it's too hot to add misery onto everything else that we're doing.
Agreed. So one of the things that we wanted to offer this summer for you guys, because we do take a break from our podcast, and honestly, moms, that's survival for us because we are home with our kids too, and we've got camps and events and things we're trying to get to. So it helps us, Kate and I, be able to be present with our families.
Yeah.
But we wanted to offer some extra things this summer just to kind of help throughout the time. So one of the things we're going to have on our social this summer is called Study With Us, and we're going to read the Bible together. One of the things that I think is hard, I always thought it was easier in the summer to spend time with Jesus, but it's actually harder for me.
Yeah.
Because during the school year, when I have a better routine, I'm more apt to stick with it.
Right.
In the summer, when I'm free, I tend to let it go.
Right.
So we thought if we put it out on our social every week, we were reading certain passages from the Bible together, asking you questions, and then allowing you to give feedback, that would be almost a prompt for you to spend time with God if you haven't that week. If you're already doing a Bible study or devotional this summer, awesome, go for it. But if not, this is a great way for you to interact with Gather Moms and be able to prioritize your time with Jesus.
Yeah.
So in a couple weeks, starting on our social, we're going to announce the book that we're studying this summer. Each week we'll have a key verse and a passage for you to read. We'll have some questions to answer. And then on Fridays, we'll pray a verse of whatever we've been reading that week. So it's a whole week of study. We're going to do that for 7 weeks. So we would love for you to make sure you're following Gather Moms on Insta or Facebook so you can join us as we study the Bible together.
Yeah. And then I've been reading this great book called The Anxious Generation. And we've talked about technology and screens here on the podcast, and we always get so many follow-up questions from moms who are just overwhelmed on where to start with screens. And so The Anxious Generation, the book it's about the rewiring of basically American childhood and how screens are affecting our children. We all know that they are. And but he has really great research about that. And he has some really good tips for how we can help our kids not be anxious and what we can do with screens. But I think I get overwhelmed when somebody's talking about, okay, you've got to get this software and then you go into settings and you do this. Okay, so what we're going to do on this live together is practically do that together. We're going to talk through the book. We're going to give away a few copies of the book in case you'd like to read it. And if you have read it, then we'll get to kind of talk through it. And we're going to talk specifically about summer and screens and how we keep our kids safe. Both mentally, emotionally, and some very practical ideas for that. And we're even going to have a PDF with you can go down. This is the software she mentioned. Here's the link. These are the settings that you go set on an iPhone and really go through, like, is the Bark cell phone good? Is a Gab phone good? What are the best ones? And really talk through those things. Let you ask your questions so that we can feel confident going into summer where our kids do have more access to screens. So pay attention to social for that.
Well, in any season of motherhood you're in, this is great information information. I mean, even if your kids are older, things are changing so fast that I'm just always interested to know what is new.
Yeah.
What's out there right now.
Yeah.
Then coming in August when we hate to say it, when we are going back to school, some of us celebrate that a little bit. We're going to offer some specified topics for mamas. Like, first of all, for moms that are going to have a kindergarten baby this year, we're going to have one of our moms that sent her first to kindergarten last year. She's going to give us her feedback on what to know and what's coming. We're also going to interview a middle schooler for those mamas that have kids going into middle school or in middle school and just talk about what kind of the struggles and pressures they face. And then I'm going to do something for our senior moms. So if you've got a senior kid next year, I'm going to talk about all the things I learned this last year having a senior, just to kind of prep you for what's coming. So in August, be looking for some resources to help you as you do go back to school and get your kids ready.
Yeah, we're here for you, moms. Even if we aren't putting out new podcast episodes, we're here. We love to interact with you on social. When you message us, you can email us through the website. So we're still here with you. We just won't be putting out new episodes, but just put replay on some of your favorites that you've heard before. If you need us in your ear on your road trips, we're happy to go with you.
That's right. We love you so much, moms. We hope you guys have the very best summer, and we'll see you
soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, because honestly, if a mom's behind and she doesn't listen to this till August 5th.
No, exactly.
What? We're starting again.
Yeah, she's going to be like, man, I timed that just
That
right.
was awesome.
All right. Love you, moms.
Bye.